Hello and welcome back to the channel. This is SCC, and if you've come here from the last video, thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. And this is where we'll get into the nuts and bolts of what the trades will be for this week. I did plan to originally do it in the last video, but thought it lagged on too long, and I thought might as well just keep this to the top of the line power rankings and get into the trades in another video where it can be a little bit shorter. Yeah, sorry for dragging it on, but yeah, just love talking about players and what I think about them, and getting it all out there. Sometimes it's good to talk it out because it helps you to make your own decisions, and I hope it has. So as I said in the last video, if you enjoy the videos, if you enjoy the detail I'm going to, give us a subscribe. Costs nothing, and it's really helpful to know that people really enjoy the content, because that's what we make it for. We make it for you guys, and hopefully you know, it helps you to pick your teams and make your trades, and you know, get a good score on the board, because that's what we're all looking for at the end of the day. So as I said in the last video, a lot of that was about kind of thinking about who the good players are, and you know, how things have changed, because things change pretty rapidly, and you'll see we'll be making trades in these videos and then change our mind come the end of the start of the week or start of the round, and things change very quickly. You know, I had one way I thought I was going to trade at the end of my review, and then that changed pretty much straight after, and now it's changed again with more news coming out. So let's start off with what the plan was, and it now has been affected by some certain news about a player. So what we were going to do is we were going to trade Meek, we were going to trade Roberts, and we were possibly looking at doing another trade with like Darcy. And we were looking at going Oliver, Moore, and then Jones. So that this was, we need to do this to do it. Darcy Jones. So this is what we're looking at, leaving 90,000 in the bank. Now, I'm not completely unsold on this. The only reason I don't want to do it is, one, it is my last boost. Two, Hawthorn have a little bit of a hard run after this week, I think. They play, yeah, Port Adelaide, and then they play Brisbane. So I think that, like, obviously St Kilda's a good matchup, but then after that, it could be quite bad. The other thing that worried me about more is that he didn't really get that many CBAs, not as many as I thought. So he must have been thrown in there in the last quarter, which is good because it was when it was on the line they needed to win. But at the same time, a little bit worrying. So we're going to scratch that. And then, well, this was kind of what I was originally thinking. So that's still a plan, still could be done, but probably won't be now. Because I looked at the players as well, and it didn't really leave me with the most money and most, you know, moves to muck around with next week, because I'm really thinking about that cadence. So then I looked at trading Meek, and I looked at trading Roberts, and the idea was that Sweet would come on. It was better off putting Sweet on. I'd sit him in emergency and see how he scored first. Going Meek, going Roberts, and then getting in. Swapping Martin to the midfield, going Ryan. Yep, we're going Ryan, who I've been dead against for most of the year, but just because I didn't really think that the game player free was going to stand up, but they continue to play it, so we might as well give into it. And then go Jones as well, because Jones seems to be that best rookie, and that would leave me with 129k. We optimize that 129k. Good money. You know, we'd keep the boost, we get a really good player in, and we'd be able to keep, you know, pretty much 5 strong in the forward line, 5 that probably most people have other than Rankin. Swede on, which, you know, we now have 40% of teams running Sweet, whether it's at R2 or looping ruck or whatever. And because of the beauty of him playing early, I'd be able to loop him anyway and see how he went and then go Meek. He would fill out the the optimizing is actually filled out the defense, but what I'd really look at doing is going something like Dacos into there. Because I think McKercher's projection really doesn't tell you how much he could actually score. Put Dacos in here, and because there's no looping option with my defense, because McKercher and Brown and Graham and Closey all play at the same time on a Saturday night. And we've got an extra Friday night game. So I feel like they could have maybe pushed the Saturday game to Sunday, but I guess like last week was so late, so there was that anyway. But this was, I guess, how I really wanted to line up, and I thought this like actually looked pretty strong. Because McKercher's really got like 100 upside. Graham, a lot of people are going to be playing. These are all midfielders that score 90. And then like the forward line I was still pretty happy with as well. Like everyone's going to be fielding Reed, and then it's like out of Wilson and Darcy, who do I pick? Now, news has come out that Sweet is probably injured, which is absolute disaster for those who have him, because there's a lot of teams running Sweet at R2. So if he's going to be ill and miss this week, I don't know what teams like that are going to do, because you need to find 400k to get to like an English, or like even 300k to get to like a Meek. What is it? 240k to get to a Meek. And then it's like, what's the point of going to Meek? Because you're just going to have to trade again. Like the whole point was to have Sweet run him and then upgrade him when the time comes to like an English, and have him score well enough that you could use that money for elsewhere. Now, obviously, it's just he's mistraining and he's ill, but if he does miss the game, I think it's going to be really, really bad, and for quite a few teams, and I would rather have Meek. So this is now pushing Meek back into the team and me back to square one. Because Ryan's just I think he's like the one I don't want to pass up on, because like if you don't get Ryan this week, you really can't get him at all. Unless he puts like a 40, which just, I know he's playing Sydney, and they could tag him like they did with Whitfield, but I think he plays differently to Whitfield. Whitfield really relies on the run and carry game, whereas Ryan's a lot happier to sit behind the play and get cut-off marks and, kick long from, behinds in kickouts. And they're playing at Optus, so it's a really big open field, and one that I think it just is going to be hard to tag him on. So I still really want to get him. I guess the other considerations are obviously looking at this is like Oliver, 13.5% bring him in. I'm worried about Oliver getting a tag. Like, I think it's the opportunity for Hewitt to still go to him and tag him, even though he hasn't been at his best is there. So I don't love that either. I can't believe how there's a few people going early on guys like Sullivan and Revel, which I think is interesting. Is Jones in my team, or is he not even being considered? Like, why is... That's interesting to me that Jones isn't really being considered. He's not in my team, is he? No. Is there a reason we shouldn't be considering Jones? Because for me, right, I look at like, let's go to the AFL injury list. Has that been updated? Because I don't think that GWS had that long an injury list. Like Brisbane's is big at the moment. But yeah, GWS. So Callum Brown's going to be out. Cummings is still out 6 weeks. Tom Green was in last game anyway. Kennedy's indefinite. Leak's indefinite. Bruce is a rock. And Wardius is indefinite. Like, their whole team is pretty much playing. The only ones is Cornelio. But with Brown now out suspended, that you think would give him a bit of a run, and they do like him, that Jones. Like, he seems to be playing really well. Is this like, I don't know. He is here. Good. 21%. I don't know why that wasn't showing him before. Must have just been like a glitch that it sometimes have. But yeah, it might have been still reading off the fact that I had him in before and it hadn't updated once I undone the trade. So yeah, I think Jones is definitely the one we want to go. So in saying that, this trade's definitely happening. So let's just, this is happening. Roberts is going out and Jones is coming in. All right. Now, there's nothing wrong with holding Meek, because Meek has got a real low break even. He's got quite a good matchup, and in Marshall, and he can probably kick some goals against St Kilda. To be honest, he's kicked goals every week so far. And if we play Wilson on field, he's been playing really well, and just loop Darcy at the moment, that should be fine. It's not really worth moving power. I mean, I could loop. No, because then I have to play Joe. So who's playing first? Jones. So I'll loop Jones and play Darcy. So then that leaves us with, what are we doing with the upgrade? And how are we doing it? And at the moment, the only way I see it happening is power. McKerch is too good to not have on field, or trade. Brown's still got money to make. Pelosi's still got money to make. Pelosi, Brown, Gussie has got money. Rogers will make money, and he's got North. Graham's got money. Like, these three Gold Coast boys have got North. What else we got? We got Wilson, but he's got a lot of money to make, and he's got Hawthorn coming up. Reed's still got money to make. Darcy's just, so that the two choices are pretty much got are Darcy and Power. And I know that Darcy's probably the one that's got the more long-term potential of being a keeper. But Darcy probably is going to make money this week. So, and probably got a higher potential scoring. So it's kind of hard. And I really feel like it's forcing me now to trade Darcy, because trading Power just doesn't make sense. So I think I'm going to trade Darcy for now. We'll put Wilson here, and we will put Dacos here, and then I can't get Ryan. That's the problem. I cannot get Ryan. Otherwise, I probably would have done this. And this is where that extra 30k on McCullough could have been good last week. I'm really hoping McCullough doesn't play this week, so I can do a midfield downgrade to him next week. But yeah, this is kind of where I'm settled at. I want to get Ryan. That's going to mean Power going out, I think. I just, otherwise I could. The only other one I might go is Houston. But I got to look at what Port's running. Does this work with Houston, actually? Let's just check it works before I waste my time. Does it do this? Trade that. You go to there. You go to there. And then we get, because I think Houston's what, 600k, isn't he? Ooh, I just have enough money to get Houston. So I guess this is, if I go Darcy, if I decide to go Darcy out, this is probably what I'll do. Let's optimize this. Best scoring. That's actually quite good considering, because we get to keep Power. And we lose Darcy and we lose Roberts. But Houston does have a Geelong game. What did he score against Geelong last time? I bet he is crap. Yeah, 61. But he's had, 61, but 2 really good scores as well. And then he's got Hawthorn North. Might go Houston. Anyway, it's either Houston. So pretty much this is where I'm at. Houston, or we go bang. And we go, that is not what I wanted to do. We go Darcy. And then we go Ryan. I don't know. I'm kind of still pretty stuck on this. Jesus, nice projection though. Yeah, still pretty stuck on what I want to do here. Both of these seem pretty good. Let's have a look at Houston's break even. 145. So that makes me want to go Ryan. So if I do this, what's it mean? I've gone back to 3 deep here. Reed, Wilson, Darcy. And I think like a majority are going to have this on field. So this is probably how it would look. And this is looking quite nice because, sorry, I didn't even do what I wanted to do. We got Wilson, who's in 64% of teams with 80%. So that's like 45% start him on field. And the other 21 probably looped him. Darcy is in 89% starting and he's in 47% teams. So that's like 40% on the field. And then Graham, who's in 66% of teams on field and is in 54. So that's like just over 30%. So it's like kind of safe-ish rookies. Like McKerch is probably the one that isn't. He's in 30% of teams and he's like 88%. So yeah, McKerch is probably the least safe, but he's probably the one I'm most likely to think will score well. So yeah, I don't mind this. It gets Ryan in, leaves me with 48k. And then I just need to figure out what I'm going to do next week. It could be the time that I move Hewitt on. Could be that Darcy gets one more game. We put him out and then we go like Hewitt up. Potentially, because I want to try and probably get Houston now. I'd like to get rid of Wangani Malira at some point, but it's not really on the cards. Might be a buy flip. Getting Ryan in now, he'll probably get a 700k once he's got something. Even if he scores bad this week, he's going to have St Kilda next week. He went 170 on them last time. So I guess this is where my trades are at. I think this is probably what I'll stick with. But follow me on Twitter if you'd like to see it, because I'll probably post what the final trades are on there when it comes to the time. As for VCC, I think my VC this week was going to be back in Sarong, and then go Captain Bont against Richmond. I would love to have Gold Coast North earlier and like back Flanders playing in the back line, but I don't really want to straight captain Flanders. I'd rather put that on Bont against Richmond. So that is what we are looking at for the team this round. So let me know in the comments what you're thinking of trades. I think there's a lot of ways you can go. Like there's obviously Oliver, there's Dylan Moore, there's Parrish, there's Laird, Dawson probably could be as cheaper players, cheaper options. And I think a lot of people are going to be going Ryan. Dunkley's even putting his hand up because Brisbane have a really good run. Or are you having to fix up injuries from last week? This could change again if Green's out, but I guess everyone's going to be having to field a rookie anyway, so I probably won't change it for him unless they say something long term, but I think they said he's a test. So thanks for watching. If you've got through this video and the other one, really appreciate it. Let me know your thoughts, as I said. Give Give us a like, give us a subscribe. All helps with the channel, and we'll see you in the next one. Cheers.